Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. So our word was, I'm sorry, if you're here from the short, you already have a backstory. If not, our word was, what was it? Original. And this morning, it went a lot into identity, carrying identities from the past into the future. And we're probably hitting hiccups, struggles, some sort of limiting aspect. And it's all tied to this identity. If we think of the original, we are it's something that began. It was the first copy, if we will, and we are copying from it to create something new. It's a baseline. It is a guide, if we will. If we thought about rewriting a paper, we're referencing this to rebuild a new page or document. If we use our past identity to restructure our new, which is going to bring in obviously something more special, beautiful, expansive for us. And we're using our past identity with all these limiting beliefs, limiting mindsets, self image issues, self esteem, uh, pleasing aspects, anything that kept us in these wounds. That's not a really great foundation to build something new in. We may not even know we're doing it because we're still hanging on to it, which is kind of the toughest part. Supporting angel number card, changing cycles. This fell in line as well with this. Goes into going through the motions, transition, chaos, endings, rebuilding, adventure. Uh, I don't feel like I often talk about it, but when we think about that, uh, sure, I talk about changing and letting go of these things, but when it's presented this way, and like I said, we probably don't know. It's not very visible to us often because it's still in there. It's a part of us. We don't view it as bad, or if we're still hanging on to a bit of that shadow, we think it's there to help us or protect us, keep us safe. When we are rebuilding this identity, what are we bringing in still? We'll dive in here to the cards and see what else we get. Obviously, it's different for everyone, but how can we really reference that? Uh, the easiest way is just comparing lives. Hey, I'm going towards this, and I couldn't get there before because this held me back. And maybe we truly did heal that or release that, or maybe it's still in there somehow. And let's put ourselves in those kind of positions that this new life is going to experience and see if we start to feel a certain way. Be like, oh, I'm a little nervous, or I'm being held back. I don't feel like I'm strong enough or capable to do that. Well, there's a very clear sign that we're still carrying such a thing into this new identity, if we will. I often do say, whatever we believe, that is our identity. Whether it has to do with, uh, whether it has to do with just out there in society, if I believe in this sports team or this ideology or whatever, I'm going to embody that and I'm going to be it. If I believe I'm sick, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to feel it. If I believe I'm heartbroken or I'm never going to find love, I'm going to experience that. Whatever I believe is my identity. And uh, whether this is subconsciously buried in there and masked or covered up with other identity aspects, or if we're aware of it and we feel that little bit of nervousness or fear around certain aspects, well, we're still identifying with that. That's still our identity, and we're carrying that in and trying to create something that this identity limits us from being able to walk in or hold. We got two cards here. Swords. We got Page of Swords reversed, Better Judgment, Queen of Swords reversed, Harsh Judgment. Starting there with the page, I often see that sword looks way too heavy, and they're incapable of handling that sword or managing it, or somebody's going to get hurt because it just looks very. They don't look strong enough to hold it. I just briefly said there a minute ago about going into this new identity that we may want or experience, we'll just say, but we have to believe and then identify with it for it to become. But by doing so, as that page is holding that sword, they're not ready, because if we're still hanging on to something from the past, that's limiting us. Uh, Not saying that this is related, but As I say that page is holding that sword like they're not strong enough. Well, let's say we were going into the limelight or something, and we're not ready to handle the ridicule from all the haters. That would be a quick defeat. We may get there, and then all that hate would make us feel really bad about ourselves, destroy us, and send us 18 steps backwards. How do we regain that confidence if we're trying to do something such like that? Queen of Swords reversed. A harsh judgment. Well, I didn't even put the two and two together there, but just kind of what I just said. If we are trying to go into a position or a place in life where we need to have thicker skin, people are going to say rude or mean things. And if we couldn't handle that, how quickly would that knock us back? If we can't handle that, I mean, like I said, we would probably quit doing whatever we're doing and then go hide in a hole and be really knocked down about that. I'm not saying that's completely like this. We could think of it as a job. Say we want to be in a managerial position or a leader of some sort, but we're a people pleaser and we don't want to hurt people's feelings. We're afraid that whatever decision I make and how it affects them makes me a bad person, or I'm going to feel uncomfortable saying things because I don't have the strength inside to say things over my own life, to make good decisions, or to even get away from people pleasing in personal relationships or family relationships. I don't have enough of a backbone there in that position to speak up for myself. So, how can I be a true leader? How can I say what is true and be okay with the outcome or the repercussions, knowing that sure people might get hurt, I might offend them, but I am in this position because I can make the right decision for the best outcome possible in the given situation, and trusting that. If we don't trust ourselves to make those right decisions, well, then we won't make them at all, and nothing really gets taken care of. Oh, we got Knight of Pentacles reversed, procrastination, and then the Four of Wands reversed, delayed festivities. I briefly touched on like this delay or waiting aspect, kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We may be aware of it, we may not be aware of it, but this is creating this delay. This is uh, why we're not making the transition. We're trying to carry this identity through, and it doesn't fit. It won't work. It won't happen. Uh, the procrastination, sorry, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, I always see him as like, hey, it's right here, but I don't think we can really see it. Maybe we touch on it, but we don't think it's that big of a problem. Something else came through this morning that had to do with, well, how did it go? It had something to do with trying something out, or not really thinking we could get away with it, but like, it's like, it's not that big of a deal. It'll be all right. It's kind of like placating with a habit or an addiction that, oh, it doesn't cause that much trouble. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. So that would mean that we're aware of it and saying, no, that's not going to affect it. That's not going to hold me back. Probably because we don't want to let go of it. If we really think of that shadow, uh, hell, that guy or girl will tell us whatever we want to make it be true because it wants to stay alive. So, are those decisions or ideas or whatever's coming into our mind really informed, or is somebody else there uh, speaking the loudest, saying, no, this is how it is and this is how it should be, and it's fine, it'll fit, it works? Ace of Swords reversed, Cloud of Judgment. Just going back to that shadow aspect, or even an ego aspect of oh, putting words in our head and manipulating to an extent to say, no, no, we need to be here. Like, I know what I'm doing. And then we really got to say, well, who's talking here? I know I made a video a while ago that had to do with, hey, this shadow aspect is like this huge guy on the road, and our true self is this like Lego-sized figure on the yellow lines in the middle of the road. And if I was that small, looking way up, like that's how big that aspect of ourselves is most of the time, until we know it, until we talk to it and grow and kind of get on an eye level with it. Otherwise, it's going to be the loudest. It could stomp on us. It could, uh, we, it can't even see us. It is a bull in a china shop. When it gets upset, when it gets triggered, it comes out and it needs to be settled down or satisfied and given whatever it wants, which is normally not what our true self needs. It's not guiding us, it's not leading us. It is a bull in a china shop, pushy, it's loud, and it's going to get what it wants. So when we're trying to leave this old identity that this guy was or girl was probably more in charge of leading or guiding that life, it's not going to like that. It's, hey, I'm putting, if you do this, you're going to be in danger. You can't do this. This isn't okay. If you're not strong enough, what are you thinking? All these limiting beliefs, and it doesn't want to let go, which means we're kind of believing it, this cloud of judgment. We're uh, validating its behavior, its thoughts by trying to bring it with, because at a time it kept us safe, or we thought it kept us safe. Got 2 cards here. We got the Sun reversed, self-doubt, Queen of Pentacles, being practical. Right out of the gate, keeping ourselves small, reassuring, validating this behavior, this reasoning and we can do that. We can prove anything right in our head if we want to. And with this guy in the back, or girl in the back of our head, validating, it's almost like that angel and devil on our shoulder analogy. Don't do that. Yeah, do that. It is this internal battle, and it has a lot to do with our thoughts, and our emotions are then created through our thoughts. Really look at, if we're obviously we're trying to step into a new experience, new light, whatever we want to call it, and we're building this new identity off of our old, because it's all we knew. I mean, we can't blame ourselves for that. We experienced it all of our life, and it is the original. It is a baseline. But what is there, or what were we experiencing, or what were we struggling with that's still trying to come with? What are we still hanging on? If this new identity, if we're going to feel a certain way or present ourselves a certain way, well, try to do that in your own space. If you can, I don't know what we want to call it, if you can put yourself in positions and actually feel emotions, wherever, in any situation, do that. And then see how you feel. See if what you're still carrying with you. If you can't do that, well, then try to go do it in the physical, and see if you start to feel nervous, if you start to feel unconfident. What is being torn from you? What is triggering here? And that's going to be a really great place to look, that, hey, I'm still trying to carry this through. I need to figure out how to release this, heal this, or break through it to fully move into this new identity that I'm looking for, because otherwise this is still holding me back. I don't know if we'd call that, what I was explaining there, of astral traveling, but I just look at it as, if I close my eyes, I can go wherever I want to be, and I can experience a situation. And I think we can all do that to an extent, as long as we try and we're open to it. It's kind of like daydreaming. So if we do that, and we put ourselves in this new identity, and granted, if we just want it all to be flash and roses and rainbows, that might be limiting us from really opening it up to what's still holding us back. So let's put ourselves in this identity and say, a negative experience that's going to happen in this new identity, and experience that. And whatever we're triggered with or we're feeling during that period, it's going to be like, okay, well, this is still something I'm hanging on to, because right now I'm still holding that, and I moved forward into this stage and I felt it. So that's where I can look, whether it's, pay attention to awkwardness, nervousness, what makes you feel uncomfortable, what fears start to arise and grow. And then maybe we can look back in life and see how many times in our life we felt that way, or we started to feel those experiences. Maybe they were just with certain types of people, certain situations, jobs, relationships, ages in life, and we can reflect on that a bit, to dig in there a bit deeper, to actually see what is it all about. Where did this come from, and is it true? Does it deserve to be here anymore? It may have served a purpose in the past, but I know that now, and I've moved forward, or I'm trying to move forward, and I'm going to. And we can finally let go of that and step into this new identity or belief of self, we'll say. I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, or subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later.